Best Life, and I'm Sonia. It's been a minute since I've been on here to chit chat with everybody and let you know what's been going on with me lately. I haven't been traveling much. Haven't been traveling at all since winter break, Christmas break, where I was gone for a couple of weeks. Went out to the Arizona desert and hung out with my fam bam. Haven't gone anywhere else since. Just been, here grinding, making that extra money, getting that tax debt taken care of, so that way, prayerfully, by the end of, I was praying that by the end of the school year it would be all taken care of, but not quite. So I'll be working anyway. I found a long-term sub position at a school in the district that I work for, and so I've been going to that location every day instead of bouncing around from place to place, which is cool. I enjoy the staff, I enjoy the children there, and pretty much I've been enjoying myself, having a good time, and like I said, making extra money. Quick update on the depression. It is history. Bebopped it in the eye and it's gone. And haven't had any depressive issues in a long time, so thank God for that. Oh, and happy Resurrection Sunday. I'm on my way to church right now. So April 20th, 2025. So but let me update you guys on other part of my health. I don't know if you guys can see it well, but I have a scar here. And then look at my smile. Okay, not all the way up on the left side. 2 weeks ago, I got up to go to work, went in to make my coffee, and was standing there making my coffee, and I felt like I was going to pass out. So I leaned back against the refrigerator, and sure enough, went out. And so my grandson was in the living room, and he said, "Yaya, are you okay?" And I said, "Nope, come and help me get up." So he came to help me get up off the ground, and that's the last thing I remember until really I'm sitting on the couch. So as I was going back to sit down, I went out again, for real, this time, and fell flat on my face and did a little skid, had a nice little rug burn over there, and they couldn't get me to come to for a little bit. And so he yells for Nana. Nana comes out and she sees me laying on the floor, so she runs in there and gets Bubba and Wendy, and they run out, and they're trying to talk to me and get me to respond and everything, and I'm not responding to anything. I'm not hearing anything. And then I hear call 911. So when I hear call 911, I heard that, and I was like, no. And so that was it. I didn't respond anymore after that. And so they waited a little bit, and they were like, no, call 911. And I heard 911 again, and I was like, no. And so finally I started coming to enough for them to get me up off the ground. And then they got me up off the ground, got me to the couch. I sat down for a while, and they told me later that I kept asking the same questions over and over for like 5 minutes, and I refused to go to the hospital because I thought it was just one of those quick pass out, get up episodes. That's what I thought. I did not know that it was as bad as it was, and I was out as long as I was out, and incoherent as long as I was incoherent. So I wouldn't let them take me to the doctor, and I just sat on the couch and relaxed that day. And like I said, I thought it was just one of the little fainting spells and gone on, because I had passed out in the shower a few months earlier, and then I almost passed out at church one Sunday, and I made an appointment to the doctor because I was like, this, I shouldn't be just passing out. And it was a video appointment because that's all I could get with Kaiser, and he wasn't any help at all. And so I was like, okay, everything's cool. But lo and behold, everything was not cool, because when I went out this time, I knew something was different, because when I went down the first time in the kitchen, it took me quite a bit longer to recover than it had any other time. So I should have known right there, but my mind was still not there. And so like I said, being stubborn and wouldn't let them take me to the doctor, stayed home that Monday and got up and took myself to work on Tuesday. Went to work on Tuesday and was like, everything good. But I felt really wobbly and just like I was not going to be steady on my feet. And so I was like, okay, let me get through the day. I'm here. And then it was April Fool's. So I was messing with the kids and smiling and laughing and joking with the kids. And I wonder why one of my students just kept staring at me strangely. And I was like, why is he staring at me like that? He doesn't normally look at me like that. So then I noticed the strange look came every time I laughed and smiled. So I got out the phone and I took a picture of myself smiling, and then that's when I saw that the left side wasn't responding correctly. And then I feel a lot of jumping, a lot of the nerves jumping on the left side, and tomorrow will be 2 weeks, and I'm still feeling a lot of the jumping, and as you can see, the smile is not there. It's better though. It's much better than what it was. And so I was like, all right, well, let me take Wednesday off and, see what's up. And so I got up and started moving around Wednesday, and I still felt quite a bit wobbly. So I said, well, you know what? Let me go ahead and take my butt on over to urgent care. So I go to urgent care and I start seeing the doctor and, letting him know everything that was going on. And so they were going to run all their tests that they wanted to run there. And then I showed him my face, and he was like, oh no. He said, nope, you go to the ER right now. And so I had to call Wendy and Bubba back. They came and picked me up from Kaiser and took me over to the hospital. And they had me in the back real quick, and then they were like, oh, Kaiser wants to admit you. And so I was admitted in the hospital on Wednesday, and then they transferred me from the high desert down to St. Bernardine's Hospital for some extensive tests. So they ran all kind of tests and everything, and so I'm there until Friday afternoon. And so there was no weakness on the left side, none of that stuff. And the only thing that was off was my smile. Not even my forehead, none of that, my strength, none of that stuff was a problem. So then they said maybe Bell's palsy, just for this facial paralysis right on this side around the smile. And So then they said TIA, a mini stroke. That's what they think it is, or was. But all of my tests came back clean. My echo, well, actually, really even haven't had the echo read yet, to my knowledge. But the CAT scan, the MRI, everything came back clean. So I, felt okay, not 100%. I'm still not quite 100%. I feel like I'm about at the 95% range of recovery. And so Monday, me being me, I take my butt back to work again on Monday. I'm like, you know what? My babies, they need me. This class has been struggling all school year anyway, with so many different teachers in and out. So I was like, let me get back in here and, work with these kids. So I go back to work on Monday, and I'm still, at that point, I probably was only about 80%. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to take the rest of the week off, make sure I'm good and recovered, well enough anyway, for me to, get to testing. Last week we started state testing, so I wanted to make sure that I would be good for state testing, because otherwise, they have to try to get somebody else to come in, train them, and do all of that stuff, which I had already done, and I've been doing this for 20 years, so, doing the testing was no problem. So I wanted to make sure that I was good and strong enough to, get through testing and get through the rest of the school year. So that's what I did, and that's where I'm at. I was supposed to go to the cardiologist Friday. We had Good Friday off. I was supposed to go to the cardiologist, but it was way down the hill, and so I felt a little wobbly Friday, so I was like, I am not going to attempt to drive over an hour to get to the doctor one way and don't feel my best. So that was a no-go. So I rescheduled that appointment to another day and closer up here, so that it won't take me long to get there. I didn't feel confident enough at all, and if I feel any little bit of wobbly, like it's just not working for me that day, I don't leave, and I don't go to work, and I don't drive, I don't do none of that. And I did not know that, I didn't realize it was as bad as it was, and I was out for as long as I was. So, you guys, don't be stubborn. Don't be stubborn. Go to the hospital. Go find out what's going on. But me, I'm learning the hard way every time, a little bit harder. But I'm learning to not do that. But like I said, I didn't think it was that bad. And once they explained how long I was out and how long I was incoherent, then I was like, yeah, I should have went to the hospital that day. And so thank God that everything was okay. And so, I was like, now I know. And I told the kids, I said, don't listen to me. I said, because believe me, if that had been one of them, I wouldn't have cared what they said. I would have went on and called anyway, and they can just be mad at me, and we'll deal with that later. But, they listened to Mama, and Mama was like, nope. And I tell you, all that time, only thing I heard was 911. I didn't hear them asking me no questions. I didn't hear them talking to me. Bubba was down there and had my head in his hand and holding me and trying to, get me to respond. And I have no memory of none of that. So from the time that I went to try to get back up until I fully came to on the couch, I have no no memory for none of that. None of that. And I'm still, like I said, I feel about 95% back together. I still feel like I'm a little, like I get a little brain fog a little bit here and there. But not too bad. Not bad enough for me to feel concerned at this point. So yeah, so that's what's been going on with your girl. I'm looking forward to finishing this school year with these babies, and when I come back, the principal asked me to come back next year as well and be a long-term sub there with them again. And I told her as long as they want me to be there, I'll be there long-term sub working with small groups. I will not take on another class again. That's a no-go. But I will work with the small groups until I fully retire at 62. So that was always the plan, to retire from full-time teaching and then sub, so that way I could make my own schedule and travel when I wanted to. But with me taking on this long-term stuff, as I'm not able to travel as much as I want to, but that's okay. And then, we'll talk and plan out some times. So there'll be at least 4 weeks during the school year that I won't be there, where I will take extra time so that I can stay longer on my travels when I do take off and stuff like that. So, all right, that's my little update. And as far as the weight loss, and we had a blast in Hawaii. We went to Hawaii at the end of July, and I had got down to 155 pounds, which was really too small for me. And so I'm at 178 now. And yeah, and I'm not feeling the 178. My goal was to stay between 165 and 175, give myself that 2-pound cushion. That 10-pound cushion, but I'm not even feeling this, so I definitely gotta focus and get back on things and get back down. I think I want to stay 170. I felt really good, so I think that's where my sweet spot is about 170. But I noticed that I've been not exercising like I was before. I've even stopped walking. I was walking an hour and a half a day, and before I know it, not walking at all, not exercising at all. So that's how it's easy to fall back into those old habits and just stop doing things, and before you realize it, you're not doing those things. And then especially when it's colder, because I don't care to try to walk in the house or on the treadmill. I prefer to be outside, but I don't like being cold, so I'm definitely not going to do it when it's cold. So the weather is warming back up. So I got to get back out there, and then I have to make myself get some strength training in. So that's what's been going on with me. Let me know how you're doing, what's been going on with you. If you've been out and about, traveling anywhere, if that's something that you do, some nice spots for summer would be fun for me to go to, some places that you might recommend. I'm thinking Utah. I think there's a bunch of us from our Skin Folks group that are going to be going to Utah. I think they're going to be going mid-May. But I won't be available to go mid-May. I have to try to catch them mid-June, because we're not out of school until June 3rd. So, but that's my update, and I'm going to do my best to try to come on at least twice a month and do some little updates and whatnot, and just keep anybody that's interested up to date on what's going on with me until I get back out there and start adventuring again and sharing those adventures. All right, so like I said, like, share, subscribe, comment, tell me what's going on with you. Keep me in your prayers. If you're a praying person, I appreciate all prayers. All right, you guys, I'm almost at church. So have a wonderful, wonderful Sunday, Resurrection Sunday. All right, peace, love, and blessings. Bye. I love you. Sonia living my best life, and I'm Sonia. Deuces. And my cricket smile.